Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We got something cool for you today. We're working on Mike's 300ZX here, LS swapped with a 6-liter, and he's currently got a BorgWarner, it's actually a Summit version of the BorgWarner S475 turbo on it, and this car makes a lot of power. On the smaller VS7875, made 730 horsepower, I believe it was, at about 20 psi, and he has since then upgraded to several different turbos. He's tried a bunch of different turbos, including a PT88 and a couple others, and now he has this S475 on here. And we are today going to put on the new turbo that I just got for the LS Turbo 240, the VS Racing S485. So we're going to go from an S475 to an S485 basically today, and just try them back and forth and see if there's a big difference in spool or power, or see if we can tell anything at all. Mike's been trying a lot of turbos, trying to figure out what he wants on this car. So this is his temporary turbo setup, sticking out the hood so that he can just swap turbos back and forth real quick and easy. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to put on the S485 and see how she do. Alright, so this is the VS S485 that we're going to put on Mike's car here. 85mm billet wheel compressor. And it's got a V-band turbine housing, but we're not going to use that on this experiment today. We're just going to take Mike's center housing and compressor housing off and stick my center housing and compressor housing into this turbine housing to make this swap real quick and easy. At least we think that's going to work. That way we don't have to take off the downpipe or take off the turbine housing. So we'll just bolt it in there, and this should be a pretty quick and easy little job. Here's an inside look at the turbine wheel of the S485 here. Pretty typical deal, 96 by 85mm wheel. And here's the turbine housing. This is a V-band in and out, which is a little bit unusual for a S400 turbo. Pretty cool, really well made, got their logo cast into it, nicely machined. Good looking stuff. Alright guys, so we got the 485 bolted up here in place of the 475. Everything bolted in perfectly. It was a direct swap, no issues. V-band compressor housing was perfect. Changeover, oil lines were the same. So everything just went right in, and it's time to fire it up. Alright guys, so we just got back from the test drive of the S485, comparing it to the S475 that was on there previously, and she did really good. Personally, I think it spools exactly like the S475 in my opinion, but I don't drive this car every day, so my opinion's not the best on that. So we'll talk to Mike. Mike's the owner of the car here. What do you think about her, Mike?
It's dang close. I think you can kind of feel, just if you drove it every day, you can kind of feel the 10 millimeter heavier wheel, but it's so close that it's not even that much of a difference.
We're splitting hairs at this point.
Yeah,
right?
you're splitting hairs.
They're so close that
it's almost a negligible difference.
Yeah. But we're hoping that the 85 would provide a lot more
It
power.
seems to be making more on the top end though, which is what we want.
Yeah. So basically, we think 2 thumbs up on the S485 for this just quick little test drive. Of course, the road conditions were not good today, so we were traction limited a little bit, but we were able to do some back-to-back throttle roll-ins and 4th gear stuff and whatnot. And yeah, I think we both agree that we're pretty much splitting hairs as far as how they drive. They both drive just about the same.
Which we are going from a cast wheel 475 to a billet wheel 485, and so. You know, you're giving and taking a little bit there from one to the other, but I'd say spool up was definitely the same, pretty close to. But I think the 485 is making more on top for sure, as it should.
So the question is, if you were to put your money down today and buy one turbo over the other, given that there's about a $200 difference or so between the 2 turbos, where would your money go?
I'd go with the billet 485.
Couple $100 is worth it.
Just know that the 85 is ultimately going to flow more air and it's going to have more potential than the cast 475.
Yeah, I agree. I think we all know, or the community has kind of spoken and said the S475 taps out, what, in the 700s?
Depending on who you speak to.
Yeah.
Anywhere from 700 to 1100.
I think mostly the cast 475s, they pretty well tap out in the 700s on most of these motors, just from the guys I've talked to. But the 485, I think, goes significantly farther.
Right. And a lot of that's going to be the billet, you know, with the additional 10 millimeter airflow.
Yeah.
But, you know, it all depends on your combination and who you speak to.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, my engine is a basic setup, LS1 intake.
Yeah.
You know, which is the worst flowing intake. Nothing special there. It's just a stage 2 cam with some springs in it, sloppy stage 2. So it's a basic, you know, low RPM setup.
Rods and pistons, 6
Rod, it's forged, but that doesn't really. And it is 10-to-1 compression, so
yeah. So
that helps a little, but it's for the most part it's basic.
Pretty basic, but we did hit some pretty good boosts there. We saw 25 PSI.
Well, that's another thing. I think it's pulling about 3 or 4 more PSI at the same boost level because we didn't touch the boost controller, and we saw 25. And previously with the cast wheel, it was only about 22.
Okay, so on the same boost controller settings, this turbo maybe made 3 or 4 more pounds of boost.
About 3 or 4.
Okay, so that says something. Okay, well, good deal. All right, I think I'll cut the video off there. It was a good day swapping turbos around and testing stuff out. But thanks, guys. Appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed this video, give me a like, a thumbs up, ask questions down below, and we'll see you on the next one.